listening to Vaquero News.
Good afternoon, Vaqueros. We're coming to you live from Bronzeville. It is 3 p.m. Monday, January 24, 2022. I am Maria Sanchez, and this is Vaquero News. It is the second week of classes, and I hope you're adjusting to classes this semester. We're coming back to campus after this week, so get ready and take your precautions. If this pandemic has taught us something, it is to adapt to different circumstances. But for now, let's go with the news. At top of the news, we have COVID-19 updates for Cameron and Hidalgo County. According to the COVID-19 Cameron County Public Health website, as of January 21st, there were 2 deaths related to COVID-19, along with 946 confirmed cases. As Cameron County vaccination efforts continue, their demographics show that 81.91% of the county, ages 5 and older, are fully vaccinated. In Hidalgo County, according to their COVID report tweet as of January 24, there were 5 deaths related to COVID-19, along with 446 newly reported positive cases. Of the 5 deceased individuals, 2 were not vaccinated. In other news, a space heater blamed for fire in Hidalgo County over the weekend, and in Cameron County, Sheriff Omar Lucio was honored by law enforcement officers this past Thursday. With the Omicron variant spreading across the country, Dr. Cruz Bernal mentions a couple of things that make this new variant unique compared to other strains. Rodolfo Alvarado has more details.
With the Omicron variant spreading throughout the country and the valley, a couple of things make this new variant unique compared to the other strains. Vaquero Radio spoke to Dr. Cruz Bernal, a family practice physician who oversees COVID patients at Starr County Memorial Hospital. Dr. Bernal was asked what makes the Omicron variant different from past versions of the virus.
It's less virulent. It is very contagious, but it's less virulent.
Dr. Bernal defines virulence as the damage and effects that a virus does to one's body. So while the Omicron variant may not do as much harm, it spreads faster than the other variants. When asked about whether the Omicron variant has unique symptoms that can differentiate it, Dr. Bernal had this to say.
Unfortunately not, and they are also very, very similar to the ones to flu. There's one that might be different, loss of taste, but other than that, they're very similar.
Dr. Bernal warns, however, that despite the virulence, there is another factor that determines how the Omicron variant may affect someone.
For non-vaccinated people, we're seeing that the Omicron can really harm the person. We're seeing less hospitalizations, but I can safely say that it's due to the vaccination status of our community.
According to the CDC's website, those with the vaccines can still test positive for COVID and its variants, but remain effective in protecting people from severe illness or hospitalization. Dr. Bernal also gave tips on how to stay safe.
Number 1 will be the vaccine. Number 2 will be the booster. Number 3 would be using a mask, okay, especially if you are in small groups.
He also says to keep up with healthy choices and not letting the pandemic get to you psychologically. This is Rodolfo Alvarado for Vaquero Radio.
With 2 weeks back to online learning, many are wondering if this is a repeat of 2020's remote learning. Rodolfo Alvarado has more details.
After announcing that the first 2 weeks of classes will be virtual at the beginning of the month via email to students, many at UTRGV have wondered if this was going to be a repeat of 2020's remote learning. According to the email sent to the UTRGV community, this would only affect the first 2 weeks of the semester in order to minimize the effect that the new Omicron variant would have on the community. UTRGV Associate President for Marketing and Communication Patrick Gonzalez went further into detail and explained the 2 biggest reasons for the decision.
The first off was the outbreak of the Omicron variant. As you know, the Omicron variant is producing positive cases, a spike in positive cases throughout the country and throughout the Rio Grande Valley region. The second reason is we want our campus community to use these next 2 weeks of virtual to get vaccinated or to get boosted.
Gonzalez explained that the projection charts from different medical organizations show that the number of positive cases would peak in the Rio Grande Valley around the time classes would begin. Gonzalez assures that there are no current plans to extend online learning past January 31st, but notes that there is a chance things can change if there's another spike.
I mean, there's a chance for everything. Today, as I'm speaking to you, we will return to normal operations on January 31st.
Gonzalez says that UTRGV encourages students to continue following protocols, which could be found on the university's website. Some students, like English sophomore Karina Sandoval, says she would be, quote, bummed out if classes were to continue being virtual past the month of January.
I mean, I just have to stay home and do the online learning, which I don't really like, only because it's a little bit harder to stay on track and focused when you're at home 24/7.
For any more updates on class modalities or campus news, this is Rodolfo Alvarado with Vaquero Radio.
As we experience a challenging economy, finance professors share their financial advice for students. Felix Valderas has more details.
With the spring semester getting started and many students receiving their financial aid for the semester, professors of finance at UTRGV shared some helpful advice for students at UTRGV to help them save money. Dave Jackson, a professor of finance, states that many people do not have an understanding of financial literacy, which in his words is to understand how finance works, how money works, and to understand that borrowing money has a cost.
The simplest solution is spend less than you earn.
Jackson also states that the general problem with the U.S. economy is that it is built on credit and consumerism. Because of that, it becomes difficult for people to grow their wealth since they do not have the proper steps to put themselves in a state of being financially secure.
The key is to invest in your future.
Psychology junior at UTRGV, Stephanie Ramos, who is aiming to be a counselor, says that inflation is a problem, and today it is harder for people to get good-paying jobs. Ramos has been saving money for her education by working jobs. At home, she is responsible for taking care of her siblings while hoping to become the first in her family to graduate college.
I am quite worried just because I know I'm kind of doing all this on my own.
Jorge Vidal is a finance lecturer at UTRGV who is a self-proclaimed optimist. Vidal explains that there are things concerning today, but if you spend your money wisely, if you work hard, and make good plans, you will be okay in the future. There are many opportunities. Vidal advises students to save their money and not spend it because people tend to make better financial decisions when they have money in their savings. Vidal also shares some general steps for students to follow in order to put themselves in a better financial state.
Step 1 will be have an emergency fund. Step 2, build a rainy day fund. Step 3, make a budget.
Vidal shares that he runs a financial literacy program that educates students about insurance, investing, making a budget, and avoiding fraud, and encourages students to join by contacting him at jorge.vidal@utrgv.edu. This is Felix Valderas with Vaquero Radio.
And now, let's go with the sports schedule. Today at 6 p.m., women's basketball versus Sam Houston. Wednesday at 7 p.m., men's basketball versus Abilene Christian. On Thursday at 6 p.m., women's basketball at Abilene Christian. On Friday all day, women's and men's track and field at Houston G5 and Super 22 Invitational. Remember that you can watch the game through ESPN Plus or the WAC Digital Network. For more information, go to goutrgb.com.
And now for this week's weather report.
In Brownsville today, we can expect it to be cloudy with occasional rain showers and a high of 60. Tuesday, mainly sunny with a high of 74. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a high of 71. Thursday and Friday, we can expect it to be windy and periods of rain with a high of 60. In Edinburgh today, you can expect periods of rain with a high of 56. On Tuesday, mainly sunny with a high of 73. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a chance of rain. And Thursday and Friday, partly cloudy with rain showers. And that's it for today's newscast. If you have any story ideas, send us an email to radio@utrgv.edu. Listen to Vaquero Radio wherever you are. Download the Radio FX app on your smartphone through the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Search Vaquero Radio and add us to your favorite. You can listen to music, chatting during DJ hours, and much more. Also, follow us on our social media platforms and visit our website for updates and much more. We will see you next Monday at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. here on Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Station.
This has been Vaquero News.